Hey, welcome back, guys. Episode 5. We have some exciting stuff today. We're going to do our first book versus movie segment, and we're going to go over Ready Player One. So, we're going to compare the book to the movie, what they did good, what they didn't do good, and and then we got some fun segments afterwards. So, thanks again for joining us. I'm Adam.
Is this episode 4?
Nope, it's definitely
Oh,
episode 5.
I'm Michael.
All right, well,
I know
we'll move on with the fit check. So, Michael, I got a little bit of a story for you. It's not a big story, but the other day I got a haircut, and in the same plaza as the haircut place, I saw GameStop, and I thought to myself, I haven't been in GameStop in maybe 5 years. So, just for some nostalgia, I went into GameStop. I was talking to them. They had the original DSs. They had
Oh,
3DSs.
sick.
And I was like, I'm too young to feel this old because they were collector's items. They were in cases as
Yeah.
collector's items. DSs, the thing me and you used to play. That's not even the first video games you used to play.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
funny.
was crazy to see. But then I go in and I ended up buying the shirt, and I thought the shirt would be perfect for fit check. So here we go. We got our Spider-Man Venom.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
not bad,
pretty sick.
right?
You know what's really funny is I almost picked something very similar to what you're wearing right now.
Oh, we got a sports Spider-Man.
I was this close, but then I thought to myself, I'm like, no, we're gonna be talking about Spider-Man more next week, so I'm gonna save that for next week. So today, rocking the Muppets jersey. We
Yeah,
got
the Jersey Mike.
we got Kermit on the back. I don't know if you can see in the numbers. He's hanging out in the 55. Yeah.
Heck yeah, that's probably my favorite jersey you've worn so far, outside of the Pirates of the Caribbean one.
I like this one a lot. Yeah, the Muppets.
So that's our very own
uh,
Jersey Mike. You know what? I'm gonna buy you a sandwich from Jersey Mike's,
Please do.
but you have to keep wearing new jerseys. I just want to say,
Oh,
episode 5, we have had a different fit check, a different fit every single time, and we're gonna continue to do that. You know why? Because we care, and we care about the listeners. We care about the 5 of you out there that happen to be our family, and
Yes, sir.
we're gonna keep that production value up. So new fit. I don't care if I have to sell the rest of my clothes. We're going new fit every week.
Every
You heard it
day.
here first. That's my claim until 100 episodes.
So I need to have 100 jerseys, is what you're saying?
I will. I don't know. It might be an
My
empty promise.
Muppets are a lot more expensive than yours. That's the issue. Because yours
true.
are t-shirts, mine are jerseys. Adam, these are running me $60 a pop, man.
$60 a pop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it takes. What it takes to be
Oh,
great.
That's tragic. I'm just gonna have in my closet a corner is just gonna be all jerseys.
We got to get you sponsored by a box lunch,
Please box lunch or what was the other? I think Anime Ape has a bunch of like.
dude. I love what anime. They have rash guards too.
Oh,
They have like,
really?
martial arts stuff.
You
Yeah.
know, so I was looking at their website and I really was considering ordering some jerseys from them, but I didn't know how legit they were. I
Oh
didn't know
yeah,
if they
I have an
legit.
anime app. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll show you. I'll wear one of my next fit
Sure.
checks. I have an Avatar: The Last Airbender rash guard from Anime 8.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to. That's gonna be my next stop
Not
then.
sponsored, by the way. Not yet.
Yet. Uh, no, that's gonna have to be my next stop when I'm looking for shopping. I'll have to go to Anime Ape's website and see what they got.
Yeah. Check it out.
Anyways, so we'll touch on homework a little bit for this last week. I failed big time in a couple different ways. First thing is, so you guys are going to be seeing this episode one day after last week's episode goes out because Michael's dumb and did not publish last week's episode.
Well, it's
I
publishing is overrated if you think about it.
Publishing is overrated if you think about it. What does publishing do other than
We did the
viewership?
hard part. We filmed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's half of that. We did half. We did.
Exactly. Well said, Adam. Well said.
Yeah.
No, but between last time when we filmed, which was last Saturday, and this week, which again we are Saturday, I was supposed to watch Ready Player One and Spider Noir. I only watched Ready Player One, and then I got hooked onto Invincible with a little bit of time I had during the week.
Which is okay because that was homework from episode 1. Because I've been
That
wanting
was.
to talk to you about Invincible for a long time.
This is true. This is true. Which I'm really happy I made that decision because I have been a really big fan of what I've seen so far. I'm only 2 episodes in. I haven't watched a whole bunch because I haven't had a
Season
whole lot
1,
of time.
right?
Yeah, season one.
Oh, it's insane.
But
You
so
have so
far,
much
just
good stuff ahead
fantastic. Yeah, I don't have any complaints from it. No, no negative feedback so far. I really have enjoyed everything I've seen.
of you. Okay.
And
Well, all right, we'll do this quickly, just because episode
Sure.
1, I feel like every new Invincible watcher kind of needs to get their thoughts on episode 1
Sure.
out. So episode 1, it kind of sets it up as it's going to be, a very, cartoon Superman or
Yeah.
superhero type of show, and it's not what it is at the end of the episode. So I don't know if you've seen what happens at the end of the episode before now. I don't know if that's gotten spoiled for you, but how did you feel watching into that plot twist?
I'm trying to think. I don't know what's been spoiled for me from each season, if that's makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I just see clips all the time, and since this show's been out for a good bit of time, I might have seen that spoiled for me when the first season was released. But no, all in all, I don't know if I have specific thoughts about that specifically. What I do really appreciate is like even the little stuff at the very beginning of the episode. You listen to these two security guys talking, and the one dude's just talking about his like screw up, what is it, stepson or whatever, and how he's taking him on a
It was
trip.
so
and
long ago, I don't know.
it's just so
That's what the
random.
Mauler twins, right? Like the blue guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that like it's like he has a clone or whatever. It's so random, and it's so you think that this guy's going to be like a main character, and then you just realize they're basically just setting up how insignificant humans are in this world.
Well,
And
that's a good point. They definitely think humans are insignificant. Like they portray that in that world. But what do you mean you don't have any specific thoughts on the plot twist at the end of the episode? Like that shapes the entire show. That is the biggest 180 I've seen in any piece of television or any piece of work. It's a huge wow factor. It's a jaw dropping moment. What do you mean you don't have any thoughts on that?
I don't know.
You're
I
just
guess.
like,
I mean, I kind of like. I knew the plot of Invincible for the most part, so nothing.
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't a plot twist.
I guess it's not a plot twist, but like seeing what you're seeing, just seeing that level of, I don't know. You have
Yeah.
nothing. You have nothing. You didn't like or dislike. Do you even know what I'm talking about?
I think I'm a little confused now as to what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the very last scene of episode 1 from season 1 of Invincible.
Now I think I'm confused.
Now I think you didn't watch it.
No, I really did. Honest to God, I got like halfway through episode 2. I didn't even finish episode 2.
Okay, so you finished episode 1 and you don't know what I'm talking about.
I might have missed entirely what you're talking about. It was.
There's no way you missed it. It just means you didn't watch it.
I might have not paid attention as much as I thought I did. Now, what happens at the end of
it wasn't like a small moment that you could miss. I'm talking about Omni-Man,
Sure.
and he does his actions at the end of the episode. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't. I have no clue.
What did Omni-Man do at the end of the episode?
I literally have no clue what you're talking about.
Brother. What do you mean?
I had it on my other monitor while I was doing other work, so I very well could have missed something.
Dude. I would say, it's not even arguably, I would claim that is the defining moment, the defining scene of the entire show of Invincible. And if any Invincible fan hears you say that, they're gonna have a vendetta against you,
So, what does he like? Does he like kill someone?
bro. Oh my gosh! Whoa, really? Okay, hold on.
Okay.
So, new homework. You're gonna have to go back and rewatch episode 1, or at least the end of it. No, don't pull it up now. It's too late.
No, I'm not.
I see this.
I'm
What are
not
you doing?
pulling up.
What are you doing
I'm
right
not-
now?
I'm
What are you
not
doing right
pulling-
now?
Nothing.
You can't watch the show on the podcast.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know if I was delirious. I'm not even finished with episode 1.
Okay, dude. You must have been delirious. Okay. All right.
In
So
my
I
defense,
guess you have something to look forward to. I'm glad I didn't say what it was. We'll come back next week.
okay. In my defense, I clicked off of that show when I was like in the middle of watching it. It was on my other tab, and the first episode was so long I thought it was 2 episodes.
They are long episodes.
I saw so Mark gets his superpowers, and Omni-Man is like wigged out about it and is acting really weird. And then you see him punch the shit out of him
Out
while
of
they're
who?
training. Out of Mark.
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened.
He like gut punches him and knocks the wind out of him, and he's just keeled over on the ground. And then
I
he like,
cannot wait for you to finish this episode.
all right, hold up. We're gonna pause recording for a second, guy.
No.
You know,
Next week. We'll talk about it next week.
I'm gonna be so honest. I think it's so funny that I didn't finish that first episode, and I thought I was almost through 2 episodes.
I think it's funny too. And I think if we catch an Invincible fan, you're gonna get flamed in the comments.
That's okay. I'll take it. I'll take a flame.
Yeah, that's fair. We all have those moments.
Again, I had a crazy week, and I was trying to watch stuff while doing other stuff. So I had on my second monitor show, and on my main monitor I was working. So I was like writing emails, logging in through stuff, and whatever I was doing on this monitor, and then I was glancing every now and then.
I was talking to somebody about the first episode of Spider Noir, and they were telling, or just about the show in general, and which we'll talk about next week. But they told me something happens in like the third episode, and it's absolutely wild. And I was like, oh shoot, that is crazy. And then I was watching episode 1, and it happens like halfway through episode 1, and I was like, oh, they're very confused as well because because now like a lot of TV shows like Invincible, they're like 55-minute episodes. Spider Noir is 55-minute episodes. So it's not a sitcom. We're watching hour-long episodes. So I get it. I do get that.
I was watching. So he got his suit with I don't remember the character's name, but he makes like superhero suits.
Art.
Yeah, and you see him like out on the town, whatever, in his suit.
Yeah. Cool suit, right?
It's a cool suit. I actually really like it. I think the suit design in this show in general is really cool.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing Invincible cosplay for MegaCon. We'll see when this next MegaCon rolls around.
Yeah, would you do Invincible?
Probably, yeah. Like if I did an Invincible character, it'd be Invincible, yeah.
Sure,
but you'll see in season 4, he's got different suits, and we'll see which one.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I can go as the one girl with the pink suit.
Adam Eve.
Sure, I haven't met her yet.
Cool, we could be lovers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so my new homework. Where's my notepad? I don't even have a pen. I'm so disorganized right now, Adam.
Aye.
It's been a long week, man. Performances back to back. I'm on my 3rd weekend of shows. I'm almost done. I'm almost free. Okay. Homework for next week for me. Don't be a stupid head. Okay, I'm gonna write actually watch Invincible.
Yeah, just at least finish episode 1 so we can talk about that. But I want to talk Spider Noir next week, so that as well. And
I'll get both of those in. I'll get both of those in. I have a lot more week time coming up this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I should be able to watch some more stuff. Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, with that, let's transition into this segment. So, this segment, the idea is, I have read the book of Ready Player One. I have also recently watched the movie. Michael has seen the movie. So this is going to be book versus movie. We're going to talk about the movie. And what a great movie to talk about for nerd culture, because it's kind of just like a hodgepodge of all this nerdy stuff. I will say that the book is even more so of that. So we could do, you said you recently rewatched the movie, right?
Yeah, so I think we should start
we should rate it.
Yeah. I'll start. Are we going same time?
We go same time. This is out of 5 stars, by the way.
Out of 5 stars. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. 2.5.
1.5.
Really?
So you're above me this time. Okay.
I am.
Yes.
And
I
now
put it
let
one
me
and a half.
say, I think I'm above you because you've read the book.
Probably. Actually,
Because
most definitely. Yeah.
and I'll say this, I know a lot of people that have seen the movie and read the book, and they hate the movie.
Well, I wouldn't go as far to say as I hate the movie. 1.5 is not a particularly good rating. You put two and a half, which is right in the middle of the road. Um, I will say there's things I really like about the movie. So the 1.5 stars comes from the visuals. That movie is visually very, very fun to look at. There's a lot
Yeah.
of cool Easter eggs. They did a really good job of making that story modern and with the
Yeah.
times. They had like a Minecraft cameo, and I saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the final battle scene. It was really cool.
You
And
see, like you see the Iron Giant, the DeLorean,
yeah,
Ninja Turtle. You just see a bunch of really
well,
cool
those are
pop.
actually from the book, and I'll
Well, I'm
get into
sure,
that.
but I'm just saying it's really cool to see all the pop culture references all
Yeah,
modge podge together into one.
right, which was one of my favorite things about seeing the movie. I thought the
Yeah,
action was sick. Some of the action. I thought like the race, right?
yeah,
That race was really fun to watch.
sure.
However, that race is not in the book at all. So
Really?
yeah, I understand that as a movie, especially when you only get 2.5 hour runtime, you're gonna have to change things and make cuts. So up until up until a third of the way through, I was so on board. I was like, all right, this is different than the book. Well, it's okay. It's cool. They did something cool at least. They have to do it different than the book. I also
Sure,
know they couldn't get every IP from the book.
sure.
Um, but yeah, okay. So let me explain. Here's why I think it didn't get a better rating for me before I even get into the book.
Yeah,
When you have a story that's very good as a book, anyone that sees the book go into the movie, it's going to be hard when you have to sacrifice a lot of things. For me, that is one of those things. But also, I think even
sure.
outside of that, because I really try to look at it as if I didn't read the book, even outside of that, the story felt really rushed. The relationships felt really rushed. And I just couldn't get behind some of the decisions they were doing. But
So
all in
let me
all, it was fun
log
to
on
look at.
that. Yeah, let me tag onto that, and I 100% agree. I think this might be a hot might not be. Maybe everyone agrees. Maybe most disagree. Um, I'm gonna say a pretty high percentage here, but 80 to 85% of movie adaptations of books are done very poorly, and I'm gonna say an even higher percentage, 95%, 90 to 95% of TV show adaptations of books are better than movie adaptations because
Because you
books
could
are
take your
long
time with it.
books are longer than movies.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. There is more time for you to fill in the details and introduce characters. You can spend 4 pages introducing a character, and that's only 4 pages out of a possibly 300 to 500 page book.
Yeah.
Now, if you take 4 or 5 minutes in a 2 hour runtime, that's a little more
It's a lot. It's
impactful.
a lot of time.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why I'm really happy that they're doing the Harry Potter series on
I was
HBO.
just gonna say, I'm very excited to see what
Very,
I think
very happy
people are
about that.
against them redoing it, but we're due for one. But to
I
to be fair, the movies did a really good job. Because I read the books afterwards,
Yeah,
which maybe changes my view a little bit. But the first
sure,
movie is almost page for page. It's almost the
sure.
exact same thing.
So what I've heard a lot of the complaints being from the movies. Again, I'm in the middle of reading the books right now, so I don't have a full opinion quite yet. But my dad's read all of them. He's a very big fan of the Harry Potter books. He read them before the movies were even released. Like he's been a long time
Oh,
fan.
nice.
He does not like a whole lot of the character changes that were made in the movies, meaning like characters were described a very distinct way, and then the movies completely changed that character. Or there's some big things that happen between characters, or there's characters that are somewhat introduced and they're background characters, but they have whole arcs and development that you meet the person and they interact more. You don't even get to that because there's not enough time in the movie. Um, One of the books I know that specifically I've heard the most gripe about is Goblet of Fire, book 4. I've
That's the one
heard
I
from
just finished. I just
I've heard
finished
from
book
multiple
four.
people that is one of their favorite books and their least favorite movie because of how little justice the movie did for the book.
Yeah.
I heard.
I think that's a fair take, and you're gonna have that, like you said, with most cases of a movie adaptation from a book.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of you got to cut where you can, and you have to change what you can to be more efficient with time. And I think Harry
Sure.
Potter did that better than Ready Player One. For example, in Harry Potter, there's a character. Why am I forgetting his name? He's a poltergeist.
Okay.
He's a big part of the story actually, but they completely cut his character in the movies, and I didn't think that that was a problem. In
I
Ready
don't even
Player
know what
One,
poltergeist is in Harry Potter.
what do you say?
What is a poltergeist in the Harry Potter world?
It's like a ghost, but it's like a
Sure.
manifestation of something. So this
Okay.
particular character is like a manifestation of like disobedience from students. So he's like a pesky dude. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. It's been a
Sure.
while
Like,
since I read the
okay.
books,
Is
but
he almost like the ghosts that are running around Hogwarts throughout the show or throughout the movies?
yeah,
Or
but he's
little,
not in the movie.
sure. But like that's what his character is. It's one of those ghosts.
Peeves. His name is Peeves. Peeves the poltergeist.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, in Ready Player One, I don't want to say they got rid of a character, but the character of Og, so Ogden Morrow, he goes by
Yeah.
Og in the game, is done completely different, which I
Like
think could be okay.
You mean like the
but
creator of the game?
no, the co-creator of the game.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
The headmaster guy with the red cloak, that guy in the
No,
movie.
no. His partner.
Oh. Okay. I'm following
Yeah.
now. Sorry, names. Yeah, okay.
Because you
I
were
agree.
thinking of. Yeah.
I know we're
Not
thinking about.
Halliday's character. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I know who you're talking about now.
that was done completely different. So many things were different.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Don't they have like a falling out in the movie? That's like the story is
Kind
the
of,
two
yeah.
characters have a falling out because of direction of the game or whatever. Is that the same in the book?
It's
Where they have
similar
a
in the
falling
book.
out? Okay.
It's similar in the book, yeah. So
Sure.
there's so many differences. Some of the things that I like that they did to just get into the story was in the book, you really get to learn about Wade, the character of Wade, before we even get into all of this stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually, he lives in, I think, Mississippi. He doesn't live
Uh-huh.
in Columbus. He ends up moving to Columbus, but the Stacks are, is it Mississippi? Maybe it's Oklahoma. I don't know. Someone correct me in the comments. But you get to know him as a character. What I really like about the book is what they do with the character arcs, right? So Wade is super poor. He's overweight. He's, he's just struggling. And then he ends up kind of catching some traction, being the first person to find one of the clues, which is what happened in the movie to an extent.
Sure.
And
Sure.
then you get to watch him kind of utilize that. And then by the end of the book, you have a completely more matured character. I like that you can do that. I mean, the book, it just took its time so much more. It's not even a question if the book is better than the movie. It 100% is.
Sure.
But just some things that I think you might find interesting that are different. So, one, the Stacks looked awesome in the movie.
Yeah. I really like how they do that. It looks cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, like I said, for the first third of this movie, I was completely in. So, okay. What is it? Daito and Shoto.
Sure.
They're introduced in the movie very quickly. It's they're like friends with H and Z right away.
It feels like they're already like they've been a clan. They've known each other for an extended period of time.
Yeah. In the book, they don't know them at all. There's the leaderboard,
Sure.
and so Parzival was the first name on the leaderboard, and then Artemis, and then H, and then Daito and Shoto showed up on the leaderboard. And then they ended up needing to talk to. They called each other the high five because they were at the top. They do that in the movie, but then they called them to a chat room and they met them, and they weren't even friends until the end. So I just thought it was interesting that they did it right away. But I get it. You got to move the story forward.
There's certain things that are cool differences between book and movie, but they're necessities in order to keep the flow. So
yeah, 100%. And there was a bunch of little stuff like that, as you'd have. Like they were talking about this artifact that turns you into a giant robot. That in the book, that's a big part of the story. but that artifact turns you into Ultraman. I don't know if you remember. It's like kind of like that Power Rangers looking guy. Uh,
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
yeah.
I could
So they just
picture it.
didn't have that IP, but that was a big part of the book. So the book is a love letter to the '80s. It's kind of like how Stranger Things is. That's what I thought the movie was going to be, and they did a great job with the song choice, like very '80s.
Sure.
But the whole point is James Halliday loves the 80s. He's like obsessed with the 80s. So the whole game, the whole scavenger hunt is like a big love letter to the 80s. And
Sure.
every single clue is like 80s inspired. It has to do with the 80s. It's movies from the 80s, it's games from the 80s. For example, the first key, the first clue uh was D&D expansion that they put into the game in real life, and it was you go through the dungeon, and
Mm.
then I forget the name of like the dungeon lord, but he was there, and then you had to play him in a game of Joust, which is an '80s arcade game where you're
Is it
on
like
birds.
Vecna or
And
something crazy like that?
what do you say?
Like Vecna or something like that, or like
It's like that. It wasn't Vecna. I forget. It was like the guy with ruby eyes and knife teeth. I don't know, but I don't know his name. I'm not
sure,
well versed in D&D lore. But that was
sure,
the first thing, and then that was like all '80s inspired. It was the
yeah,
'80s D&D thing. It was the '80s
yeah.
game. The first thing in the movie is this race with like gods or King Kong
Because
and
they can't get the IP for D&D.
yeah, probably.
Sure.
And so I thought it was a good change, but like it was just cooler in the book. And there, I also don't believe, like, obviously suspension of disbelief is important for a
Yeah.
movie like this, but I just don't believe that it took 5 years for somebody to try going backwards. You know what I mean? And that's how he found the thing.
Yeah. See, that's a really, and that's something that bugs me because I know as someone who grew up playing games like Mario Kart and
Yeah.
Need for Speed, like stuff like that on the Xbox 360, when you're trying to find shortcuts and glitches, the
Yeah.
amount of times people just try the most random stuff and it works. I agree.
Right. And if you have 5 years, especially if that much money's at stake, people are trying
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And it just my suspension for disbelief stops there. But in the book, they made it really believable as like there's clues to find clues to find clues to find the first key to find the first gate. It's
Sure.
way more intense. The whole story in the book, the whole Easter egg hunt is so much more intensive and so much harder in the book.
Sure.
They really make you feel like, okay, we did this one. It could be another 5 years before the next one's done, before the next
Yeah.
key's done.
Yeah.
Um,
It
and
does.
that's
It
what
does feel
something
in
I
the
like way
movie.
better.
It does feel in the movie like this all happened over the span of a week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's very much so. Not even a week, like a weekend. It literally feels like this happens over the span of like,
Right.
oh, I have off work Saturday, Sunday. You want to go finish up the Easter egg real quick?
Right,
Um,
which is a problem for two reasons. One, it takes away from the whole point of the scavenger hunt in the story. And
yeah,
two, Wade and Artemis's relationship blossoms over a week. It doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
And they meet each other right away in person. In the book, it was a huge thing that even at the end where Wade, so they kind of all get called together by Og, kind of like Avengers Initiative thing, and they all
sure,
go to Og's house, and that's the first time they all meet each other in person. And that's like at the end, it's like this big thing. Wade's gonna meet Artemis, it's gonna be awesome, and then he doesn't even meet her because she's like, "We got to finish this thing first. We have to do this final battle first." And then
yeah,
at the very end of the book, like the connection that you get is it him meeting her in person for the first time. Like that
sure,
is the payoff at the end of the book. They
yeah,
did that in the first 15 minutes of this movie.
yeah,
And I was like, "What? That doesn't what?" They had him meeting her after he found the egg in the book. Like that's how important it was to be at the end. And they did
yeah,
so that was confusing to me. I didn't like that, but they changed
sure.
it a lot.
Well, and knowing, like, I can even say as someone who has played video games for a majority of my life, you don't really expose who you are to people online that you only know through online stuff
Yeah.
fast. That's I mean it's nobody wants everyone to know their personal business,
Right.
especially if you're talking about any sort of meeting up in person or anything. That is a big deal. So like the fact that it just happens so instantly and then
Yeah.
they're homies instantly, it is a
Little
little odd.
lovers, yeah. It is
Yeah.
odd. And
They got
also,
lovers.
especially in this world, is like the Sixers have proven that they will kill you. They will
Mhm.
literally kill you if they know who you are.
Yeah.
So them telling each other, that was just weird to me.
Yeah.
Uh, but also, that's another thing I wanted to say. In the movie, the Sixers didn't feel like a big threat. I feel like if you're gonna have a movie of this scale, the opposition, the antagonist needs to be formidable force. I don't feel like IOI was in this movie, but in the book they were. I don't know if you, as someone that read the book, I feel that way. As someone that didn't read the book, how do you feel? Do you feel that they were a threat at all?
I I kind of compared them to you. What's the name of the species in Guardians of the Galaxy 2? The gold people that are like,
I don't
you
know
know who
the
I'm talking,
one that
you know who I'm
where
talking
Adam
about, right?
Warlock comes from. Yeah,
Yes. So I, in my mind, kind of looked at them as that, like they really aren't a threat and they just are expendable minions and troops. Um, and they have one person that's like the big bad that we're
yeah,
scared of. And even then, I didn't feel intimidated by their power and like the sheer amount of control they had,
yeah.
or were
It.
leading off to have, I should say.
I don't even know if in the book that they were. It's hard to explain for people that haven't read the book. I would just say
Sure.
that they felt if the stakes felt higher in the book.
Okay,
Like
that's fair.
it wasn't they didn't hire this one girl to like track down and kill people. They just had people on it. And
Yeah,
it wasn't a cat and mouse game. It was just
it was
they
like
know
we're sending a small platoon to
yeah.
find you.
Which
Sure.
also leads me to the next thing that really bothered me is so Nolan Sorrento, he just felt like a bum the whole time. They were even like making fun of him, which is good. They do that in the book, but Nolan Sorrento is kind of a cool character in the book. Like he's a bad guy, but he kind of has some aura, if you will. He's got some
Sure.
steez. And there's a scene between Wade and Nolan Sorrento where they're trying to ask for Wade's help to find the first key. They're trying to hire him, and they do it in the movie. But my first thought when I was reading the book was this would be so good on camera. Like this would be such a good dialogue scene. And then I was so excited to watch the movie. I watched the movie and that dialogue scene was garbage.
Yeah.
It just there's nothing. Is when he pulls the card that he knows who Wade is. They do that in the
Yeah.
book in that scene, but in the movie they have this whole thing of like him hiring that bounty hunter to find out Wade's identity and whatnot.
Sure.
It's way cooler to
That would
me,
be kind of tough.
isn't
The
it
thought
though?
of like just the referring to him as Artemis the entire time, and then at the very end of the
Or
scene,
Parzival.
or I'm sorry, Parsifal, thank you. At
Yeah.
the very end of the scene, dropping the legal name, the Wade, and like
Yeah.
just
That's
spooking the
what it
crap.
was. That's what it was. And it made
Yeah.
him so much scarier of a bad guy. Because
So
what
really,
happened was what
yeah,
happened is they're having this whole game where he keeps offering him more and more and Wade's messing with him and Wade's like I'll do it if they fire you and I'll do it for this amount and he's like done 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 and he's like you know what never mind and then he's like all right I've gone through all of these options and he's like cuts the game he cuts the games and he's like that's enough Wade and then Wade's like how do you know my name and
yeah,
it turns out he actually got it from bribing somebody on a school board to because he went to school in the Oasis so he got his records from his school but that's so much cooler than having someone find out his name for you and then hiring a bounty hunter to go try to find him to
sure.
me
And
that's
that's
not as cool.
do they really even touch on him going to school in the Oasis
I don't
um,
think so.
in the movie?
I
I
don't
don't
think they
remember that
do
at all.
which is insane because all right so the whole idea is he's poor in the
Sure,
beginning and
sure.
he can't travel around the Oasis because you need money. So like Oasis money and real world money are pretty hand in hand
Yeah, it's
in the
basically one to
book,
one. Yeah.
right?
I
And
mean,
so
I
he
think they
doesn't.
do a good job of showing that in the movie as well, though.
Right, they
Uh,
do.
your level and your amount of money and like how strong you are in the game directly correlates to your social class in the real world. I feel like they
I
do a
I
very
think
good
they
job.
did do a good job of that. However, they started with Wade going through all these different worlds and having this experience and having whatever. When in the book, Wade felt like he was behind because he would he would study everything about James Halliday, but he couldn't level up because he couldn't afford. He would like bum rides off people to go to low
Sure.
level dungeons and try to level his character up, but he couldn't afford to go anywhere or even search for the egg. And that's a
Oh,
big moment because he figures out that the clue was on Ludus, which is the planet where all the schools are, because he thought James Halliday wanted a student to find it. So he was the first person to find it because he couldn't
because
leave Ludus.
it was made for like a student or
Right.
somebody
So
of that.
it's a big part of the book, and they don't even touch on it in the movie at all.
That's kind of
Which,
crazy.
like I said, I get, but it's just weird.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
but yeah, and then when he goes into that dungeon, he ends up getting all this money. It was great, and then he gets like these endorsements, and he starts using all this money to like go level up. It was really really cool. Honestly, there's one thing that drives me crazy, and then the rest I'll be a little kinder about. I'll show a little more grace.
No, hey, be as brutal as you want to be.
The quarter, right? The extra life quarter.
Sure.
Do you remember how he gets it in the movie?
Um, no. It's from one of
So
the challenges, isn't it?
no, he gets it from.
Or is it the little
Well,
butler robot
he gets
guy?
it from the little butler robot
Yeah,
because
I just
they
don't
like
remember.
lost a bet, but it was like a silly bet.
Yeah,
And then we find out that that little butler robot was Ogden Morrow,
yeah.
and which I thought was stupid for a couple of reasons.
Was it
One,
what it was in the book or no?
no, in the book they don't even have that place. They called it the Journals, that big place.
Yeah.
What they have is a book from James Halliday talking about everything he loved, and it was
Okay.
called the Almanac. It was Anorak's Almanac, and it was just a book about everything to study up. And people would literally read this book, and they would watch all of Anorak's favorite shows or Halliday's favorite shows, all play
Yeah.
all of his favorite games. They would just study the Almanac, and then they made it
Sure.
the Journals, which is whatever. But then you
Fine.
mean to tell me that Ogden Morrow was just always logged on as a butler
Yeah, that's weird.
24/7 helping these like it doesn't make sense. And then
Yeah.
giving him the extra life. How he got the extra life in the book I think is way cooler. And
Okay.
it's like a whole chapter on it. And he doesn't know what it is, which they did a good job in the movie too. Like he doesn't know what it is until the end.
Which I
But
like. That's cool.
it was cool. But he's looking for a clue on a planet called Arcade in the book,
Okay.
and it's a big museum, and it's an arcade, and he finds like the secret room, and in the secret room there's a Pac-Man game with a quarter like stuck to the thing, like I got next, and he can't pull the quarter off, but he ends up playing the Pac-Man game, and the score on it is like one below a perfect game.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've seen on YouTube or something, but some people have tried to play a perfect Pac-Man game, and it takes hours of straight playing. And what
Well,
happens is the game can't compute anymore, so
yeah.
like the screen goes half.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Oh, I need to play a perfect game." And he's also racing people right now to try to find a clue, and he knows this isn't the clue, but he's like doing a little side quest, which is risky because he might miss the gate he's supposed to be at. So he ends up playing a perfect Pac-Man game. There's a whole chapter on it, and it was written very well. And then he gets this quarter, and he can't get the quarter out of his inventory. Like it won't leave his inventory. He has no idea what it is. And at the end, you find out it's an extra life. But he like earned it way more in the book,
Yeah.
and it was a way cooler
Plays like
story
a
to me.
Pac-Man game, and it's a
Yeah,
little more intricate to the story, and yeah, that's fair. Which I feel like
it's
that's
a
just for the amount of stuff that sounds like they've changed and cut and adjusted. That's just a weird one to choose.
mhm.
But
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna check my notes here for what I have so many problems. You know what? Let me talk about what I like that they did. Let me be a little
look,
bit
you
nicer.
can keep talking about the issues. Like I said, I don't mind listening to the rant.
Oh, okay. Well, here's another reason why I think that the Sixers were more formidable in the book. So, Shoto, I don't know, was it
Mm,
Shoto or Daito? I think it was Shoto. Gets murdered in the book by the Sixers. What's happening is they're fighting each other. They're fighting a battle. And no, is it Daito? I'm gonna say it's Daito.
okay.
uses the artifact and turns into Ultraman, the giant Ultraman, and he's fighting the Sixers, and then he dies in real life. Now, what happened was the
Oh,
Sixers found out where he was, broke into his apartment, and threw him off the balcony, and he fell to his death. And then
oh
the
my gosh.
yeah, and I know, like that was who we were dealing with. We were dealing with people that would kill you.
Crazy.
Yeah, and so they showed and they like explained the vid feed. They're like, look at the vid feed, and it was him being like, "Oh, I think someone's here," in game, and then like you hear him struggling, and then he dies. But then they played it off as this dude just committed suicide in Japan, which they did do a little homage to in the movie. They're like, if you die, some people just kill themselves, and it was a video of this Japanese man trying to run off and jump off a balcony, and someone tackles him and saves him.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, that was an homage to Daito.
Sure.
But they should have kept that because it makes the Sixers look so much worse.
And it also gives our protagonists and his band of merry misfits more of a motivation.
Yeah.
It builds that hate and anger and frustration towards the big bad of the series being what's his name, Nolan,
Nolan Sorrento.
yeah, Nolan Sorrento, and it makes you hate him. It's
Yeah.
not so. Me and my friend were talking about a theory that she has, and it's the petting the puppy theory is what she refers to it as, and it's that theory of a character at the beginning of a movie can pet a puppy, and you're like, oh, that's a really sweet character, but then they can do some really horrible stuff, and you think to yourself, but they pet the puppy at the beginning of the movie. It's the same concept, but the opposite. You need that person to kill the puppy.
Like in Punisher,
It's
yeah.
like in Punisher,
Like in
exactly.
Punisher.
And
Or
it
in
made
John
us,
Wick.
or in John Wick, and it's you that character. You hate that character. I think you and I might have even talked about this during that episode, where
Yeah,
you hate
we
that
did.
character so much. It doesn't matter what they do after that point. You just hate them. You
Yeah.
don't like them. There's no redeeming action that they have at that point. I think something like that is that
Yeah.
kill the puppy or kick the puppy, as some might refer to it as, moment.
Oh, 100%. And he did like a ton of other bad stuff in the book too
Yeah.
that just add to that. And but it also made him like it made him formidable. Like they didn't really seem scared of him at all in
No.
the Sixers in the book.
I
I
feel
mean
like
in the movie.
the way that it feels to me in the movie is the same way I look at somebody who drops a lot of money on a video game to make themselves powerful and leveled is, oh, you have no skill, you just have a big bank account. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of how they set up the organization as a whole is we don't have the skill that the other players do. We just have them or the intimidation or the abilities. We just have a really big checkbook and
Yeah.
we'll buy the best stuff for ourselves. So it is really like,
Well, they do
like
play to that in the book and in the movie, which I like. Like they don't respect that, and that is what they do. They just buy the best stuff and
yeah.
whatever. But they also in real life could kill you and will
Yeah.
kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely
And,
don't play to that well enough in the movie.
Yeah. Also, there was a moment. So after that scene I told you about where they had that conversation, he drops his name.
Yeah.
So he drops his name and he's like, "We know where you are. We saw you enter your house 3 days ago. You haven't left since." And then what really happened is he snuck out and went to
Yeah.
his hideout, which I think happened in the movie too. But then he's like, "We're gonna blow this place up." And Wade's like, well, he thinks to himself and he's like,
He's
well,
like,
if
"What?"
yeah, yeah. He's like, he thinks to himself and he's like, well, if they're gonna blow me up anyways, they're definitely not gonna. They're not being serious about these offers they were giving me before. So he saw it as he doesn't really have a choice but to call their bluff. So he does, and then Nolan Sorrento's like, bad choice, kid, and then he logs off. Well, then we sit in his hideout for a minute in the book. He sits there for a minute, just like worried, and then he's like, okay, good. And then the explosion happens, and you're like, oh shoot, like these guys can actually, like they mean business. This
Yeah.
is crazy. They just killed a ton of people. Like the stakes were raised at that point.
Yeah.
I think that plays better than them showing drones, like showing footage of drones placing bombs, and you're like, oh shoot, they're gonna do it. Yeah, I think it's better. It's like, oh, they did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of. Is it kind of the same thing as him dropping his name?
100%. And I think that all of these things that he did, like dropping his name, that's I don't know obviously I don't know the order of these events unfolding in the book, but when you have that first meeting and you drop his name, that's like that's the build up. This dude's kind of tough.
Yeah.
Then they blow up where they thought he was. Killed probably hundreds of innocent people in the process because it's in the stacks, right? That's what I'm guessing. I'm assuming that's where they blew up was his home.
No, he definitely killed hundreds of innocent people.
Yeah. That's the second thing. You're like, this dude is a lunatic. He has no sort of line that he's not willing to cross to get what he wants. Then the third thing is when you said it's Daito.
I think it's Daito. It's either Daito or Shoto, but I think it's Daito.
Whichever one it is. Yeah. Then that happens. And it takes it from that first point of this dude doesn't have a line he won't cross to get what he wants. And it starts creeping even further than that point. And you're like, this dude is legitimately a madman. This is a madman with a lot of money who wants what he wants. So
yeah,
I agree. Having not read the book, obviously, and just off of what you're telling me, I don't think they portrayed him as this big, intimidating, evil man. He was very much so like almost like a pompous, whiny baby that just had a lot of money.
Which there's parts of that in the book, but yeah, they didn't portray him in a way that I think drove the story and raised the stakes, and I like that in the movie. There was a bunch of different things. Like, all right, so Artemis went and she kind of infiltrated IOI.
Artemis is a girl. I was getting the two confused. Okay, I'm following.
Yeah, I think her name was Sarah in real life.
Sure, whatever it was.
I don't know if that was right. That's Wade that's Parzival in the book.
I'm sorry. Say that. I got a little sidetracked. What part were you saying? Artemis did it in the movie?
Like she infiltrated IOI, the organization the Sixers. Yeah. Okay. So she infiltrated in the movie.
Yeah.
Wade kind of does everything in the book.
Yeah.
It's kind of Wade against the world in the book.
Sure.
And we're following more of his story. I don't hate that they changed that, but it's more of that book.
It's not necessarily a bad thing per se. Obviously, again, I haven't read the book. I like how they do it in the movie. I think that part of it's not bad. Again, that's coming from someone who didn't read the book. I think that's a fun part of the movie where she's inside and they're outside and they're trying to communicate and they're doing all the communication between the two, and that's a cool part. Another thing, I'm going to jump backwards slightly to something you said. I don't love that you said he was like supposed to be kind of this pathetic man. He was very poor, not in great health, and kind of just spent his days in the oasis. I don't like that they made him kind of like, not like a Hollywood hottie, but a conventionally not unattractive young guy.
Yeah.
They didn't even make him look like nerdy.
There's just not much of an arc. Like he ends up being like that.
They didn't make him look or portray himself in a way of like, we kind of feel bad for this guy.
Yeah.
Which kind of, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's kind of how it sounds like the book made it feel.
It's a little bit of that. It's just also setting it like he starts in the movie the way he ends in the book, and there's no satisfaction in we followed a character through a hard story, because at the end of the day this was just kind of like an adventure movie, but the book like is almost dystopian. The book is you're following this character through very hard times, trying to hold on to this piece of hope of finding the egg, because that's what he's obsessed with. That's what's been going on his whole life. But now people are literally trying to kill him for doing this thing. And this thing is his only way out, and it's his only glimmer of hope. But then there's this giant organization that has more money than him, more resources than him, and are willing to do more than him to do that instead. So he's losing his hope. He's in a dire situation. And then, at the end, he kind of comes together with friends, and it's a great story. I just don't think we got that with the movie. Like, what I just described to you, in my opinion, is a very complete and interesting story.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what we got with the movie.
Okay. Fair.
But I think they couldn't have done it. They couldn't have done it unless it was a TV show. They couldn't have done that in one movie.
I don't think they could have done it probably in as much detail, but I think there's definitely some changes that could be made in the right direction. I think the biggest thing is I and again, I didn't read the book. Correct me if I'm wrong. It feels like they made the movie as a whole a lot more lighthearted and a lot
Yeah,
more
I would agree.
almost geared towards a younger generation of people, just for the pure factor of it being this future world with this video game that's super immersive, and they didn't go into the very dark, sinister parts of the story that make it feel more full.
Yeah, I'd say that was a great way of putting it. But I'd also say that I agree with their decision to do that as a movie trying to
Sure.
make money. I think they did a great job of making a movie that people wanted to see, and not everybody read the book. As a matter of fact, most people don't read the books for adaptations. I'm one of those people that don't read a lot of the books of movie adaptations that I watch.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think before I read the book, I think I would have liked Ready Player One a lot more. I think it's just hard when you have a story that you love to see
Mm.
that stripped. And so I tried to see it as a
Sure.
completely different story. And
Now,
maybe I
correct
just
me.
didn't do a good job of getting over that. Or maybe
Yeah.
they just didn't have a complete story. I don't know. You tell me. What do you like? You gave it 2.5 stars. Do you?
I gave it 2.5 stars, and I'm not going to change the rating because as a movie, that's how good I thought it was. I didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think it was terrible. Um, with the context you've given me from the book, I don't like a lot of the decisions that they made in terms of the changes they made. But it was a lot easier for me to rank it at the 2.5 and keep it there because I formulated my opinion as someone going into it completely green, knowing nothing
Yeah.
about the story, and just watching a movie. You watched it from the perspective of somebody who knew everything that could have or should have happened in that story, having read the book before. So I think both of our rankings are very fair in all in all seriousness. I think that we both gave it a very very generous. I don't think that it was rated unfairly. It was as unbiased as we could be.
Yeah, I think that's
I,
fair.
I wouldn't change
I
my personally.
Yeah, and it's like you said before. I think it's very hard to. I think it's very hard to make an adaptation and please everyone. I think. I think Project Hail Mary, from what I've talked to, everyone that's read the book did a great job of that. Everybody loved it. But I
Yeah.
think they could have just done as a movie too. It needs to be good too. Like if you're gonna change everything, that's good. I'm actually open to that, but it needs to be a good story. And I actually have written in my notes as like story gets corny, Spy Kids level story, bro. That's what I wrote. Like that's where it gets.
Yo, hey,
It starts off really cool, but
bro, don't hate on Spy Kids. I won't.
no hate on Spy Kids
I
because Spy
will
Kids
not
knows
allow
what
that.
it is. Yeah,
No, no,
no,
no.
I love Spy Kids, but
Not
Spy
allow
Kids
that.
knows what it is. Spy Kids sets the bar and freaking nails it because it's a corny movie. You know what
That's
I mean?
fair.
And we love it for that.
That's
But
fair.
when you set up a movie like to be as awesome as the first part of this movie was and set it up, and then you switch to a corny story halfway through,
Yeah.
that's where I have an issue. Don't get me
Did you-
wrong, we love a good corny story.
Yeah.
You know, Sharknado, Spy Kids,
I was gonna say
Shark Boy
Sharknado.
and Lava Girl. Like we love a good corny story.
Yeah.
It's just you can't just do that halfway through the movie because you
You-
got
You need to decide what this story is going to be, and you need to keep consistent to how it starts from the minute the movie starts to the minute it ends. I agree with that. Did you watch Project Hail Mary? Did you see that
I
yet?
did.
That is on my list. I have such a hard time getting out to the theaters now and like seeing a movie. I really want
It's
to see
interesting
Backrooms.
because I'm the other way around. That for me, I have a hard time putting on a movie unless it's in a theater.
That's funny. But I really want to see the Backrooms movie. I've heard some really interesting things about that. I really
Mhm.
want to see Obsession. That's on the list.
I'm not gonna watch probably either of those. I don't like scary movies.
I will say Backrooms I heard isn't too bad.
Same. I would watch Backrooms before Obsession. I'm not watching Obsession.
Yeah, I've heard Backrooms is more psychological than anything, like it's like a psychological thriller almost. And then I want to see Project Hail Mary, which at this
Definitely
point,
watch Project Hail Mary. That movie's amazing.
I feel like Project Hail Mary is probably going to leave theaters somewhat soon. So I'm
Probably.
kind of just
it might
playing the
already
wait.
be out of theaters. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like
I think it's out on streaming right now. Actually,
is it okay? So I'll have to look
it
into
might
that.
be.
Those are my three to watch
I'm
lists.
not
right
usually
now.
into space movies, but Project Hail Mary, something about how they did it really drew me in, and I loved that story. It was good. You'd like it.
I'm a big fan of what's his name, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, yeah, he's a
I'm
great actor, and he's kind of he's kind of doing a lot right now. I think I don't want to say
is
he's at the peak of his
hey,
career, but his career is popping right now.
big La La Land guy right here. Big fan.
Never seen it.
Dude, fantastic film.
I'll watch it.
Fantastic film. If you want, and I'm not the most privy to like color grading and all that and color design in terms of films, but what I do know about it, if you want like a masterclass on using colors to tell a story, watch La La
Yeah.
Land.
Okay.
It is,
Honestly, for that reason alone, I'll watch it.
it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. I really like the music. It's
Yeah.
fun. The acting's great. Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling, fantastic.
Yeah,
Both of
great
them.
actors. Very nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. All right. I think we kind of came to the same conclusion there of obviously I haven't read the book. But
Yeah.
off of what you're telling me, there's a lot more they could have done, a lot left to be desired. But it was a fun movie.
To wrap it up with a quick summary, I'll just read you a few of my quick notes,
sure.
and we'll put it together. Okay.
Sure.
Great visuals, great music. Talking about the
Okay.
movie.
Yeah.
Different than book, completely different
Sure.
first challenge. And then here. Oh, I liked how they pitched down H's voice, and they actually had a girl voice it, and then it was pitched down because that's the
cool.
same in the book. She ends up being a girl. All right, here's where I just start saying "bruh" a lot. Anorak involved in first clue, bruh. In the book, you didn't see Anorak until the very end. It was a big moment, and then Anorak's just there.
Involved in first clue, bruh.
Sorrento and worked for Holiday, bruh. In the book, they literally said anyone that's ever worked for Gregarious Gaming was disqualified from the competition, and then in the movie, they're like, "We're gonna make him an ex-employee, bruh." Parzival will just be giving out clues. That's what I put. He was just giving out clues. He was just like, I don't really like. In the book, if you
Was he
found a clue, you kept it a secret.
gatekeeping? I was gonna say, was he gatekeeping in the book?
Yeah, it was everyone was gatekeeping in the book. It was like you were shamed if you weren't gatekeeping in the book, and he's just giving out clues. I said, "Bro, what?" After the Stax explosion, it's so different. Why is Artemis so soon? Why does he see Artemis so soon?
Bro, what?
I also like she had him chloroformed to go talk to him. That I had that written down.
I can just imagine she had him chloroform to talk to him. Question mark! Exclamation mark! Question mark! Exclamation mark!
Yeah, that is kind of what I put. Just a bunch of question marks. Story gets corny. Spy Kids level story, bruh. Book way better. Visually amazing movie though. I wrote that twice, so I mean they did do some things right.
Yeah.
I put Sorrento not knowing he's in the Oasis, bruh, in all caps. Like there was just a lot of those moments. They tricked him into thinking that he was in real world, but he was like brother.
Yeah, they like used the holograms or whatever to project his.
That was stupid. That was stupid.
So what? Because they're trying to get him to incriminate himself.
Yeah.
What do they do in the book? Do they do anything along those lines?
So when Wade infiltrates IOI, he had this like master plan. I can't go into all of it. I don't have time, but it's very cool. He does a bunch of things, and he actually escapes on his own. He does that. He doesn't do that with anyone else. He escapes on his own. Whatever. Wade just turns into such a badass. And then he also downloaded all of their like criminal stuff, and then put it out to all the publishers as soon as he got out. And he was just awesome. Like he did all of that. I did put Ninja Turtles cameo peak though. I love the Ninja Turtles.
Turtles cameo peak. The cool thing about that, because you see all four of them, right? You see like Donnie.
Yeah, they're all fighting too. Like they're.
I think the coolest thing
moving as a
I
unit
think about with that is that's just four homies. Yeah. That's for real. That's four homies that made their characters Ninja Turtles,
which is funny because we've done that in Fortnite. Like we played as the Ninja Turtles as a squad. In like, I love that. Like you're right. And that's part of the reason I loved it so much. They did such a good job in the movie to sing their praises of making a video game world and telling a story within that. It's just the story they told within that just wasn't it for me.
Sure. That's fair.
Yeah. And that's why they got 1.5 stars. They did a lot good. They just did way more wrong in my
Yeah, that's fair. I can't fault you for that thought, that standpoint.
Yeah.
Um, fair.
We're up about that time. If you want to close
I
us
think
out,
we
thanks
are. Yeah.
for.
Do you have any final words that you want to say here for the movie or the book? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, sure. Sorry that you just had to hear me rant about it for an hour, but I highly recommend the book to you and anyone listening. It's definitely worth it if you're into that kind of stuff. It's a love letter to the '80s. It's a cool like it's basically One Piece, except they actually find the One Piece. So
Sure.
spoiler, but watch it or read
Did they
it.
actually find the One Piece? Hey, we're getting soon. We're getting soon there.
Yeah.
It's
Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Maybe the One Piece was just the friends we made along the way.
dude, if that happens, I want you to know the amount of people that are going to crash out on the internet.
Yeah.
That's just that's gonna be one of the biggest crash outs
I hope that doesn't
um,
happen for
of all
everybody's
time.
sake. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
That it will be pretty bad.
I'm not as caught up to One Piece as most are. I think I'm like 500 episodes in.
It's
And
such a wild thing to say.
isn't it
It's
crazy?
like, yeah, I'm barely into One Piece. I've only seen about 500 episodes.
I'm not barely in. I'm post time skip, which maybe it's at 300. Hold up. When is the time skip? Oh, that's so bright. One Piece time skip.
I know. So you see how bright it is on your camera.
517. Okay.
When you
It's
pulled up
episode
Invincible, that's how bright it was, and I was like, "Don't pull it up," and you're like, "I'm not." You just have this bright light on your face.
I'm just whenever I need to hide something from you, I'm just gonna turn this up so you can't tell what's going on. No, I'm like just after time skip, so I'm like episode 520 something, and it's crazy to me because I'm still 700 episodes or something like that behind.
See, if I knew that I was 700 episodes behind and they still haven't found that One Piece, I would just skip 700 episodes.
I'm getting really close to just spoilering everything that
I mean,
happens. Like going to
that's
the
what I
cool
do.
fight sequences and like the
Yeah.
stuff that matters, but everything else just kind of blowing through it because it is a lot to watch.
I
A
don't know if
lot.
there's a name for someone like this, but this is how I am with One Piece. I am a fan of the world and the characters and
Sure.
like the world building of it. I'm a fan of the story. I will not watch it anymore just because it's too much of a commitment. I'm not gonna lie, too much filler, too
That's
much.
fair.
It's a little
I
boring for
skip
me. But
filler.
so
I
what I
skip all.
do, yeah. But for what I do is I just skip the whole show and I just am a fan vicariously through other people, and I will just
Sure.
follow the story
That's
online.
fair.
I have watched YouTube videos explaining the story. That's
That's
why I
valid.
like the live action so much. To be honest, it just
I really appreciate the live action and what they're doing. Honestly.
yeah. I mean, they're moving faster than the show is, and I think the show
Sure.
could have honestly done that pacing in the first place.
Mm-hmm. So let's end this off real quick. Question for the crowd. You can answer this yourself if you want, Adam. But go ahead and put into the comments your favorite movie / TV show adaptation from a book and your least favorite.
I like that.
Favorite and least favorite. Yeah.
I like that.
But with that,
I have to think about mine.
yeah, I think I got to think about mine too. I'll probably pop it down in the comments eventually. But with that, thank you everyone for tuning in. That was episode 5, Adam, not episode 4. Come on, keep up.
Yeah, silly me. Silly me.
Silly you. Thank you everyone for watching. Apologies for the sporadic upload schedule. I take ownership of that. That's on me. That's on me, guys. I'll adjust. I'll fix it. But I guess we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, thanks
Peace
for
out.
watching.